Hello, ProfMTH. Thanks for uploading what is probably one of the best, most informative videos on abortion, and I mean that in all sincerity. More people should do videos like that. It was well thought out, and I learned a lot, and now that I've said that, I will now proceed to trash it one into the other. Don't take it personally, it's just what I do. First of all, you talk about the importance of the fetus being a person under the 14th Amendment, and you quote this so-called definition of person in the 14th Amendment, all persons born or naturalized in the United States. Well, Prof, I've seen creationists do quote mining. I don't put up with it from them, and I'm not going to put up with it from constitutional law professors either. Here's what Section 1 of Amendment 14 says. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. So they're not defining persons here, they're defining citizens. So I think the operative question here is not, is a fetus a person, but is a fetus a citizen? And obviously, no, it's not a citizen, but can we logically use this to say that a fetus isn't a person, since they're not defining what a person is? They're defining the subset of the class person, which is known as a citizen. So let's read the rest of Section 1. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. Okay, now note here it specifically says citizens. So if abortion were just a matter of the privileges or immunities clause, you'd have a point. But you're using the due process clause and specifically the right to life. So let's read the rest of Section 1. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. So here it clearly says person, not citizen. And notice that before it was careful to say citizen, now it's saying person. And as I've shown, person is not limited under the 14th Amendment the way citizen is. And this is consistent with the rest of the Constitution. Your rights are not limited to whether or not you're a citizen, a foreign national, a non-naturalized immigrant, and so on. All of these people are people, and they have these protections, even though they aren't citizens. So just because the first clause of Section 1 uses the word born, that seems to me to be completely irrelevant to the right to life, liberty, or property. It's only relevant to the privileges and immunities clause. Because after all, rights aren't granted. You have rights because you're a human being. Now the next thing in your video is the thought experiment. I like this thought experiment. I think it's great, but I've got a problem with the fact that you say that no one has been able to tell you the difference between this and a fetus. And it kind of bothers me, and let me do this with another thought experiment. I'm sure you know this one. The train is running out of control, and it's going to kill 5 workers down the track, and there's no way to warn them. But you can throw a switch and move the train down another track, and there's 1 worker down there. So do you throw the switch and kill 1 worker, or do nothing and kill 5? And people pretty much universally say they would throw the switch. That's pretty clear. But think about it. What if it wasn't a single worker down the other track? What if it's a baby? Aren't you just a little more hesitant to throw that switch? Doesn't it bother you just a little more, at least? And I think anyone of any morality, if you're going to be honest with yourself, I think you have to admit to a greater repugnance when the consequence is the life of a baby instead of the life of an adult. The adult has had a chance to experience life, and the baby hasn't. And although the adult probably has a lot of good years left, the baby has many more years left ahead of him. So it's not really as cut and dried as you say. Now, does that change the outcome? Well, like you said, it's interesting and complicated, but I think there is a definite objective difference between an adult and a baby. And I think if you changed it to a baby down one track and just one adult down the other, most people would probably agree with killing the adult to save the baby. They just aren't equal. Now, since you answered the questions, I will too. What's my religious affiliation? I'm an atheist. Like you, I was a Christian for most of my life. I was raised a Methodist. My political affiliation, I'm a libertarian. What is an abortion? I disagree with your answer in one respect. I think an abortion must result in the death of the fetus. Technically, by the definition that you proposed, a C-section would be an abortion, because it is a termination of the pregnancy, but it results in a live baby. It's not an abortion. You're terminating the pregnancy by removing the fetus, but the fetus is still alive and becomes a baby. So, the next question is, what is being removed? And I agree, it depends on the stage of the pregnancy. And I agree with the pro-lifers that if it's murder to kill a baby 5 minutes after it's born, then it's murder 5 minutes before. But I can't just extend that to a zygote or an embryo because, yeah, it seems to me it's so obvious that they're completely different. And the thing is, I don't have any amazing insights as to where you should draw the line. So, what reasons do women have abortions? I'm not going to argue with your scientific source on that one. And there's one more unasked question you're probably wondering about. Am I pro-life or pro-choice? Well, I'm pro-choice because I don't think a war on abortion is going to work any better than the war on drugs. But I do think it should be a state matter and the federal government should stay out of it. Like I said, great video. I wish there were a lot more videos like this on YouTube. And I know I've been very critical of parts of it, but please do the same to me. In fact, I'm really eager to see how you would respond to this. And keep making more videos like that, and I'll keep watching. And until then, this is Shane saying peace, and I am not afraid.